Okay, guys, so in today's video, start from stash, whatever it is you have, I'm going to try to make this kind of pop-up, kind of pulley card. I think Anna Griffin calls it a pulley card. I would just call it a pop-up. In my opinion, this card is basically a pop-up without a card base. I mean, that's all it is. If you want to put this in a card base, you could, if you have 5x7, the long kind, it would work, because of the sizing and everything. So that's what we're going to do today. But of course, if there are any items that I'm using that are available, I'll link them in the description box. Those will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links. So I will link them. Sometimes with YouTube right now, currently, they might be embedded here in the video. It might be right under the title in the description box if you expand it. Those are HSN links generally, or they appear that way. I will say, I was just going to give you guys the file and make the card here, and I'm still going to do that. I have 2 different cut files for you guys, but I've already done the tutorial and I'm just coming back to say hello, like to do the intro. Obviously, you can see this is here, and look at that, guys. I mean, she wants to follow right now, but there you go. I do have 2 different cut files, and I am going to walk you through how I designed it. So I figured, I already made it. If I walk you through again, I'm sure it'll be quick. No, it's not that quick. So if you want to learn how to design your own, because maybe you want a different shape or, files that you have, not just these free files from Cricut, then, we can do that. And I'll give you both. So I'll have both files in there. The one I just used, the one I began with, which is a little bit different. You'll see when we go to create the thing. And also right here, if I remember, I'll try to tell you where to skip ahead to so you can just see the cutting and putting together of the thing if you don't want to design your own, because that does take a good, 20, 30 minutes. So I will, be right back. You'll see my computer screen and then we'll go from there. Look at that. So cool, right? I just came up with the numbers on my own, and hopefully you enjoy it. You'll like it. Oh, before I go, this is how you close it up. And it fits in an envelope. I try to aim for a 5x7. It's a little bit smaller than 7 inches. It's 5 by like 6.25. But basically, you fold it up, you send it off, and the person receives it, opens it up just like any other pop-up card. Okay, let's go to my computer. Okay, guys, and I can just give you the file and say, here it is, but maybe you want to make your own and do your own thing. So this is going to be a little complicated, but not really. All right, so let's say the first thing I want, not a shape yet, but an image. Because if you go to shape, it's going to be very basic. And I always click on free, just so I can make it for you guys. But purchase, if you already bought something, purchase is great to have your filter set on. And I'll show you all the things I looked up before, right? They're still on here. And basically a decorative square, a flat bottom shape, a decorative layer. I was just looking for something pretty for the very background of the card. I'm telling you, this one always comes up, so that's kind of why I went with that. And, I'll still go with that one, I think, because these, again, are the free ones. We have our settings set to explore, like a larger one. Any one of these things you can really manipulate and do whatever you want with, but I'm going to go ahead and use that same shape again. This would be good too. You can stretch it out and manipulate it in different ways. But that's what I want. And then, okay. So that's that for now. And then I'm going to stretch it out. I want it to be as close to 5x7 as I can. It's going to have a layer around the edge. So I can see this is already 5.77 before, and, almost a half wide. 4.89 is a little bit too wide. So you can also manipulate these numbers up here. So let's say I want 4.75, and then I want to make a shadow layer for this. So right now it's 4.7 by 6.15, large. I need to do an offset for this so that we have something on the outside. Now the 1/4 inch offset puts a 1/4 inch on either side. So that means it's going to be 1/2 inch bigger than the 4.75. That's too big for my liking. But, so I'm just going to manipulate that a little bit and see how I did all this stuff. I don't like that either. So let me just cancel that. I don't want that. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller, and I'm just going to pull it in. And, again, if you want this to be 5 inches wide, you can bring this in so it's 4.5. So when you add that shadow layer, see, it's very short. That's my only problem with that. It's just 6 inches, but that's okay because we're going to add a little bit more. So if we do the 1/4 inch, again, it's 1/4 inch, not just all around. It's a 1/4 inch, like, meaning 1/2 inch, adding it to that. So let's just say apply. Okay. And we can see our shadow layer, if I just grab this shadow layer itself, is 5.0001, and that's fine. 6.3 inches long. Okay. So that's fine. We're going to have this you can find a shape that's flat at the bottom, but it was very hard for me to do that for the free shapes, as you can see. So what I have to do is we can't make this weld to that oval at the bottom without it really being flat, just so you have a good idea of where you're going to put your score line and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to move this to the side for a moment. We need a rectangle, which here they're always rounded, so I always grab a square. We're also going to need like this guy, so I'm going to grab it right now. 2. Let's move those things off here. Put this over here. This guy. I'm just going to unlock this because I'm going to manipulate this in a way that's just like whatever. So I'm going to bring it out. What I need this to do is to add it down here. So it needs to be just as wide as this decorative area and still be tall enough that let me bring this to front so we can see it. So that when I melt this together, when I go to put that matte layer, it's not impeded any way down here. We're going to put the score line like down here. Okay. So that's not too bad, but you can see these don't match up. So I'm going to bring it up just a little bit more, really so that they overlap. And then since we don't really know the measurement of the very bottom of this thing, I'm just eyeballing, and you can kind of see if I get closer, it's not quite the same. I'm going to bring this up with my keys. It's almost there. There's a little burr on either side, which is minimal, but you know, maybe I manipulate it 3.8 and see what that looks like. Oh, that's a lot smaller. Okay, let's go back to 3.861 is what it said. And actually that's manipulating a different part of this thing, but it's okay. That to me is not bad. I mean, let me take away the 1. Maybe that'll help. So what I'm going to do with these 2 is highlight them. And I'm going to align them so that they're centered horizontally. And I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad. And so what I'm going to do also with this is just go ahead and weld it. So combine, not slice. We want to weld it or unite, either one. Fine. Weld. Okay. So now I have this piece is going to go onto. And then we have this little guy. So let's go ahead and turn this guy 90 degrees. Was it 90 degrees? No. Well, that's fine. I did 90 and I'm going to flip it because I want it upside down. We need this guy to come in here and cover up some of this. And to be honest, I might have made this too deep, which is another problem, but that's okay. So I'm going to, let's bring it over here. And let's bring it as wide as we need it to be at the base so that it matches up here pretty well. So I might have left a little too much on that guy at the base. I forgot to mess with that. Hold on. Yeah, that's too much. Okay, let's undo. Sorry, guys. This is the thing that happened. I forgot. I'm just moving this away. Sorry, I'm going to go undo until before our weld. Ooh, let's see. Is it the weld? Weld is still there. I did that. I did this. Sorry. Yeah. It's going to undo every little tiny bit. Okay. There we go. I'm going to shrink this guy. See, it's still it's fine. So all I need with this guy is just get rid of some of this. Because when we bring that oval, we're going to want the oval to kind of come in and just really... We don't want that much of this guy. So I'm going to bring it even shorter than that. I'm just using this to compare where I need to put my score line and where this paper should end. Not this paper, but this guy. Okay. So let's highlight that. I think that's enough. Again, let's make sure it's centered horizontally. And then now I still have them highlighted. I'm going to go ahead and combine them and weld them. Okay. There we go. Now we have this guy. And I'm going to, again, turn it. I guess it wasn't really 90. It's like 270. Is that the number I'm looking for? Yeah. 270 degrees. Undo this. Well, no, not yet. Let's stretch this out as much as we think this one is, which is way off, obviously. Let's bring that down a little bit there. And once I'm happy with the size of this is the only thing. I feel like it needs to be deeper. If you can see, this is going to be the foot of your project. It's about 2 inches, and that's what I did with the initial one. But I'm going to undo this a little bit, and I'm going to bring this out like this. So it's more like 2.5, 2.4. That's fine. This is 2.4. Okay. I'm happy with that. Bring this back over here. And let me see. Gonna bring it up a little bit more. Okay, that looks good. I'm gonna manipulate this and I'm gonna bring this to front just so I can see if that's gonna work for me. Yeah, with the score line. Okay, perfect. Before I do anything else, I'm gonna go ahead and highlight this guy, and I want an offset, but I want an inside offset because I want something that's going to matte layer inside of this. I did 0.125. If you want to keep it the same, 0.25, so it matches up with the edges of the outer portion, then go ahead and do that. But I will go ahead and put negative 0.25, so it's the same amount of matte layer, and we can apply that. Okay, I'm gonna move this to the side for now, and this guy can be like this, like a hair smaller. Ay. Okay. All right. So I'm going to highlight this. Not just that part. This whole thing. Okay. And again, I'm going to arrange it so that, oh, not arrange, sorry. Align it so it's horizontal. And we are going to weld that too. So now we have this whole background piece that is going to accommodate this. It's going to accommodate these little pieces. And this one, I'm just going to double it. I'm going to change the color to make it more festive. But we just need 2 of this guy because it's going to cover this front area and also the back. So let's just go ahead and duplicate it. So now we have 2 of those layers that we're going to need. A matte layer for this part and a matte layer for the back. Then what I'm going to do is I always like to line this up right to the very edge. I need a score line. So I'm just going to look at this and eyeball that. I need a score line. So shapes, score line. And again, you can do this with any shape, whatever you have, something you own. It doesn't have to be something that was free. I'm going to turn this 90 degrees. I'm going to make this background piece white just so we can see it better. And bring this guy over here. And just about... That's 6 and something, maybe at 6 1/4 inches. I'm going to stretch this guy out so it kind of goes across, and that's where I want my score line. That's a pretty good score line. It could be a little bit longer, but I mean, whatever it is, it can be a little stretched a little bit more, and then just move it over. And again, I want this about 6 1/4. Let's just make sure that's where it is. So I can go over here and say 6 1/4 right there. Okay. Well, 6 1/4 here at 0.625 there. And that's fine. So that leaves me this flap that's a little bit longer, and I think that's going to be a better foot. So now I'm going to move this to the side, and I'm going to grab all this and just attach. Not group, where attach down here. So that this is all one piece. We have this layer, bring it to front. Oh my goodness. Sorry if this video ends up being really long. I just want to show you how I came up with this thing. Bring to front, because I want you to see that this is a matte layer. And again, it's the same edge. If you don't like that big 0.25, you could have made this a little bit bigger. We could make this, a different layering edge. So then this one is also a matte layer. Okay. We need cute shapes to put in here. And that one, I just did whatever I wanted. Like, I just came in here and looked for... Again, decorative layers that are free. I did look for a dome shape for some reason. And did I find it? Which one did I use? Apparently I did not find one. So, okay. Well, I don't see it now. A flat bottom shape. I thought that was a good idea to look for a flat bottom shape. Again, they don't have too many like beautiful things here. But you can manipulate things to make it... work for you. Ooh, they have some different things now. How about a label? Let me see what it says here. Again, we can make some of these things square. That's not the biggest problem. I don't remember what shapes I used last time. So hold on. Let's say label. Oh, labels are cute. Okay, because like I can use like this one or even this one and do a second, piece to it. Is this the one I used before? I like this one. See, it needs to kind of really be flat at the bottom unless you want to really manipulate it. I mean, all these different shapes would be good. That one has a round bottom. I think this is what I used. So let's close that up. I want two different shapes, but I wanted to rotate this one 90 degrees. This one already has a matte layer, so if you want to just go with it, you can definitely just use the matte layer that's there. But if you want to, we can separate these and then just like delete this one. And I'm going to come over here. So we want two different layers. One that's going to be a little bit smaller, and then one that's going to be taller in the back. So this actually, I think that's pretty good. It's 3 inches wide. It's 2 1/4. Maybe we go, I don't know, something like that. 5 by 7, maybe a little shorter. Okay, so we have that guy. Actually, a little bit shorter still. Okay, I'm gonna do an offset. And again, do you want the same matte layers from before? A little bit smaller. The matte layer is so big, to be honest. I feel like something a little bit smaller is better for this. So I'm gonna apply that. That's fine. Oh, actually, I'm gonna do that. See how the edges of it are round? I don't really want that. I want it to be really squared off. So let's get that again. Let's do offset. That's fine. And then here, I want it to be real sharp. Okay, so apply. Now it's sharp edges. And then this one, if you want to do something fun, it can just be a matte layer. You can go in and, like I said, flourish or like swirl. I don't know. Let me see. Flourish. That's free, right? Thinking about it really hard. That's interesting. Hopefully I'm not frozen. Okay. Oh, I use this one. But you can go look and see what else there might be free. Like this little back portion might work for you if you don't want, or the whole thing. I was just looking for something cute to like cut into what I was doing. So this is the background. This is the front layer. This one I'm going to turn 270. I want it turned like that way. And I also want it to cut into this. So I need it to be smaller. And not too small because, you know, the Cricut does have trouble sometimes doing stuff like this. But let's say, look, that looks cute, right? So if we like that, I'm just going to highlight this and slice it because I want that piece out. So I'm going to delete that. I'm going to grab this piece, delete that. And now we have this cute matte layer here with its background piece. Okay, so I'm going to highlight those guys and group them. Oh, not group. Not that. I'm going to highlight them and group them. Sorry. Group. And that's going to sit here. And see how it's within the edges? That's what I want. It's within the edges of this. It's going to sit in here. And now I want another shape behind this. And I did grab a dome shape. But like I said, I might have just used one of these shapes and just went with the dome. Like this one, you know, and just made it what I want. I mean, we can look for another shape that's kind of fun. Again, I'll look at label. Like this is pretty. But again, you'd want to square it off somehow. So, you know, I just mix shapes. Oh, like this one will work. It looks a little coffin-ish, but you know what? That one works. It's almost like a tag. You want this one to be just as wide, if not wider than what you have in front of it. And the and taller. So I'm going to undo this because I don't like the way that's looking. I want it to be a little more squished down and a little bit wider. So let's see if it fit in here. I need it a little bit wider than that even. And if it's too, you know, I don't know, something like that. Maybe a little bit smaller. You can just fit back here. It doesn't have to be super small. Actually, I'm going to make it a little bit smaller because we're going to want to put a matte layer to this too. Okay, and that is 3.72 inches tall. And you can imagine when you fold it up, I think that's okay. Maybe a little taller. Let's go with that. Okay. So I need that. I'm going to do an offset. Again, I want harsh corners. It's doing rounded edges, which I don't want. Maybe it needs to be a little bigger. No. Ew. Yeah. See, that's not what I want for this shape. You know why this shape is acting funny? Because it has rounded edges and it has squared off edges. So I'm going to delete that. Sorry, guys. Oh, text. What am I doing? I just want images. I'm looking for images. This one again. This one is more rounded all over. Maybe I can still do a squared off. Huh. I just like the way it looks with the sharper edges. Again, we don't need to be doing this. Oh, this one's cool. It's a little bit of a different shape. And I haven't seen something like this before. That's interesting. Okay, maybe we put that guy in here. Trying to see. So if this is sat behind there, it doesn't have to be exactly the same size. I'm just trying to see. Huh. I wonder if I can do the sharper edges on this one. Yeah, it's over 4 inches tall. Let's do the offset. And yeah, see, it's doing round edges anyway. Ugh. Okay. I don't want round edges. I'm going to look around and see. I don't want to waste your time. I'm going to find something else that, I think that's kind of why I went with dome. You know what? Fine. Let's just go with a dome. Even though it's boring. I mean, one of these other shapes might work for you. I'm just going to go with this guy. But again, look at the labels. Look at decorative shapes, whatever you think. I'm going to do 180 on this guy. And, oh, not 180. That didn't work. Ew, I don't like that at all. This is the problem when I start throwing out numbers and it does it wrong. Okay, let's say 270 and then we're going to flip it vertically. And I'm also going to undo this. But I'm going to bring it out so it's kind of the size I want. Again, the width. And the height needs to be kind of fun and different. Maybe pull it out a little bit more like this. And that's going to be back there. I don't like that either, guys. Let me find a shape that I want to work with. Sorry, I don't want to waste your time, but I already did. Okay, how about a tag? And how about this one? Let's just do it. Hopefully. I was going to delete the little dot, but then I thought, well, you know, it might be cute if we added a little ribbon. So let's do a tag shape. Let me see how I need this to be. If I keep going like this, it's going to get taller and taller. So I'm going to undo this because I want it to be wider. At least about that wide. That looks good. And it's 4.108 tall, so that's fine. I'm going to do an offset. Again, oh, this worked. Yes, I was going to say it might still be kind of a round offset, and I don't like that, but I want 0.0125. It's usually what I do. What I did with this other smaller one. So let's just say apply. And I will, well, okay, let's just make this a different color. But maybe you want the backgrounds. Actually, what I did last time is I made them all the same color. So that way the base of the card plus all these other bits are the same color. I don't know. This guy's already grouped. So I'm going to move this so I can only highlight that and say it's white. And go ahead and put this back because, again, these are buddies. This tag is black, but that's fine. I'm going to move this to the side, though. Oh, interestingly enough, it didn't make the dot for the one behind here. So that's the contour part of it. Not the contour, but the, you know, this portion. When I did the offset, it just ate that up. So I might have to take care of that a different way. Honestly, fine. Let's do this together. It looks like a little oval shape. I don't think I can duplicate that shape, like just grab it. So I'm going to have to like just, I mean, it's a little bit oval, isn't it? Like this. Let's see. Let's cut this guy or bring this really, really way down and see if it's similar in shape to this one. Looks pretty good to me. Let's see if we can put this on here and if we can center this. So align. This was not as difficult for me when I did it the first time. I don't know why right now. There's just shapes that I'm playing with that are just kind of annoying here. Okay. Let's say that goes there. Oh, I moved that a little bit. That looks pretty decent. Okay, what I'm going to do is take this guy away. I'm going to highlight these and slice. And then we'll throw away this little bit. Throw that one away. And bring this guy back. Bring this to front. In my mind, I thought this was going to be a lot quicker because I was like, oh, we already did this, so it's going to be fast for me to go through it with you guys. All right. So we have this shape. I'm going to group that. This is grouped. I will say the other thing I want to group is these pieces, because if you mess with them, you want those guys to be grouped. Okay, we're basically done, guys. And then let's take this guy. Nope, this guy. Ugh, come on. Let's move all this back. Take this guy, bring it to front, so we can see. Oh, it's not gonna. What are you doing? Hold on. It decided to. There we go. Okay. Oh my gosh. I don't want to send to back. What is this thing doing? You know why it's not? Okay, this is the whole thing. Ugh, okay. You know, I don't know why it's doing this to me right now. Let's just put this back over here. And this guy, okay. See, I can bring to front this one. How come the other one's acting funny right now? Anyway, this can be here, and then you can imagine this would be in between those. Okay, there we go. No, nope, nope. Send it back. Okay. Bring to front. There we go. And then I'm going to bring the other one to front. So this is going to be here, and then this guy will be in front of that. Sorry, guys. Ugh. Bring to front. So this is what our project looks like, and that is a pulley card. Again, you can go through. What I was trying to show you was mostly the design. I will say I do group everything. Oh, let's get rid of this. Remember earlier I said text. I do group everything together, so I'm just highlighting everything and say group. So this is one big project. So if you want to make it bigger, you're going to pull this or make it smaller. You know, everything will size accordingly, right? Like if we did that or this way. But if you didn't group it, things would size differently, and that's not what we want. So I think this will be what I do. And we have one more thing to do, guys. Oh my gosh. I thought we were done. It's a lot of explanation. I'll talk at the beginning. If you don't care about that, you just want to get to the project, skip it. But there's a couple more things. We need shapes. We need to put in the pieces that essentially make this into a pop-up. So I'm just going to grab this guy. And I'm going to bring it over here. Oh, it might not. Okay. We need this. I made them so that they're 1/2 inch wide. So I thought that was fine. And then let's think about it. So this guy back here, he is 4.36 inches tall. So let's say 4 inches tall. We want our little paper. Actually, that's overkill. Let's say 3.5 inches tall is what we want our brace. So if we're making a brace, it's going to go across. It's making like a little box, right? I think I showed you an example at the beginning. So 3.5 times 2, because it has to go up and has to go back down. That's 7 inches. We need 1/2 inch down at the bottom, and then 2 1/2 inch pieces that are going to overlap each other to make the box shape, right? So 7 inches plus the inch for them to overlap. That's 8.5. So I need this to be 8.5. 8.5 for the taller one. Oopsie. Oh my goodness. This guy. 8.5. 8.5. Okay, and I'm also going to make this white just so we can see where our score lines are later. So we have that guy. And then we can duplicate this if we want, because what I need to do is also make another one. I hate when it does that, when it acts like it's going to change the shape. This guy down here is 2.4 inches tall. So I want the little brace for that probably 2 inches tall. So 2 inches times 2, that's 4 plus 1.5 inches. So 5.5. So this one should be 5.5. And now we need to put our little score lines. Now you could have said, why don't you just put the score line in the tall one and then just duplicate it and make it shorter? They just won't end up in the right spot, like where you want them. So 90. And for each one of these guys, I want this to be 1/2 inch wide. And we need 4 for each one. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this guy, let's just take it. It should line up at 0.5 inch on the y-axis. So I'm going to say more. 0.5. And on the x-axis, I don't really know where this is because I just sat it here, So whatever. Let's see what that looks like. That should be fine. Okay. I would move it over just a little bit more. I made it bigger. That's not what I want. I want to move it over. There you go. So that's at 1/2 inch. And we said we wanted 3.5 inch braces. So after that 1/2 inch, I need to add 3.5 inches. So at 4 inches, I'm going to add the next score line. So I'm just looking at this. So you can imagine 3.5 plus the 1/2 inch, it should end up at 4 inches. Just about. Okay. And the next one's going to be at 4.5 because we want 1/2 inch between that space. So I'm just going to go over here and say 4. Oh, it's already there. Cool. You see they're kind of all wonky, but that's all right. Let me move this one over this way. Okay. And down at the bottom, we're going to do from the bottom 1/2 inch, we're going to put one more score line. And so this should just line up at 8. I hope this is all making sense. I know it, think about what I said at the beginning and then what we're doing now. Okay, so I'm just going to highlight this guy all the way up to the top. Hopefully it's letting me do that. What is going on? Hold on. It's because I had to get it all in frame and I don't see it all in frame right. Ugh. Okay, let's shrink this so I can see everything at once. Okay, here we go. I don't know why my highlight is getting sticky. So that we're just going to attach. So now we have our score lines. We have everything going. This is this piece that has everything that we need. I don't know what this weird shadow layer is doing, but okay. Now, again, I could have just copied that. I want 1, 2, 3, 4 of these guys, these score lines, because we're going to do the same thing over here. So just put it in a place that you can see well. We want this guy at 1/2 inch from the top. So 0.5, it's there. Cool. And then this one, we said there were 2.5. Did I say there were? No. How tall did I make them? Oh my gosh. Did I say 2 inches? I hope so. Okay, so the next one should be at 2.5. Since that from 2 inches, we want this at 2.5. There it is. I think I got it right on. Yep. I'm going to move it this way a little bit. And then the next one should be at 3 because we're leaving a 1/2 inch space. So right there at 3. Okay, and then the last one should be 1/2 inch from the bottom. So at 5. Let me see if I got it. No. You're just making little braces that are going to help you pop these guys up. Okay, guys, so highlight all that. Oh my, why is my sticky key? There we go. Highlight all that. We're going to attach. Okay, now we can highlight everything and group it all. So again, this is one file that's going to do all these things. If you don't like this, you know, earlier I added some decorative, like that little flower on the other. I'll give you both files if you want. You can always come in here, and the way you would get rid of that is just, I would highlight, you know, if you didn't like that little inlay, just take this guy, make a copy of it, or just go in here and say contour. That's easier. Get rid of the contour. And hey, there you go. It's, well, I got rid of the wrong contour. But anyway, you want to get rid of the little leaves on that contour, right? Okay. Ugh. Now I'm getting myself in trouble because, again, let me not group that anymore. Ay, ay, ay. Come on. See what happens? You get yourself in trouble when you start messing things around. Okay. Now I don't want that. I just want this one. Nope. Anyway, I'll get it back in the right spot. I'm just going to move this back over there. And that is our file, guys. So we're going to start cutting, okay? So I'll be back. Actually, if you want to save it, actually, I do need to save this. Pulley card. Oopsie. From free cut files. And save. And okay. Again, I'm going to rearrange this so it looks nice. And let's get to the die cutting. Let's go to our machine. Oh, real quick before we go to our machine, I did say, you know, to go to cut. All these background pieces, if you want to change the colors on any of these matte layers to make some of them the same or different, you just click on them, change the color. You know how to do that, hopefully, by this time. I will say, look at this project. All the background pieces on this piece of cardstock are, you know, about 8, and I would say 9.5 by just under 9 inches. I mean, if you really wanted this to be on A2 size paper, you can definitely manipulate the size, make it a little bit smaller, right? Take the whole group and just shrink it down a little bit, because then you can just use A2 size paper for this. But you can also always, you know, not make the tag from this, or make this on its own, you know, manipulate these pieces so that everything fits, because again, the Cricut will not cut this 1/4 inch and this 1/4 inch. So, I mean, you can bring your paper down a little bit. You can probably still get it on A2 size. You know, you just have to do some fun things, but it is interesting that it's just the way they set it up here, not quite A2. Like you would need a 12-inch piece of cardstock, but again, manipulate it if that's all you have. I would, you know, maybe delete these things and just leave this guy sideways or something, or the way it is, but put your A2 size paper this way and then cut these separately. However, okay, you can get it done. But okay, I'll be back, or I'll see you at the works. Okay, guys, so I have been cleaning my craft room. I just started. My husband has a 4-day weekend. Is it Memorial Weekend this weekend? No, it's next weekend. I don't even know. Oh my goodness. I think it's this weekend. But anyway, I found this scrap of paper, and funny enough, I thought, oh, I can make some matte layers with this, you know, for this project. And then I just went to grab, I need bigger paper, and I saw this, and I'm like, oh, I think this is Virginia. So I pulled it out, and I'm like, looking through which one, I'm like, oh, this actually came from here. So I'm gonna use Anna from Virginia. Some of these papers are really, really gorgeous. Like, it hurts my heart, but this is gonna be a cool card. So maybe we use this guy. Now, knowing part of it, this is gonna come up, right? On that pulley base. So I'm gonna use this paper. I'm happy with this. I think this is lovely. I will say, look at the way the shapes are gonna cut out. If some of them need to be oriented a certain way, you know, obviously the little stabilizers in the back don't have to be cut from this pretty paper. They can be cut from just some regular paper. So you might want to maybe make that coordinate with the matte layer or something else. But I'm just going to cut it all at once. So I'm not going to worry about it. But I'm going to use this paper and I'm going to pay attention to see, because honestly, the card is cutting this way, which is great. Some of the other pieces, I think they're cutting up and down also. So it should be okay. So this is going to be my base. I will say, since I've been cleaning up, I went through some swap items, and I have all these pretty things. I mean, look at this. I didn't plan that. I just grabbed some stuff because I thought, oh, this will be good, because like this little package. And I'm sorry, I don't have the names on here, but if you sent these things, thank you. You know, maybe I'll decorate with some of these. Maybe these don't match, but like that one is really great. I thought this little ivy from here would be really cute. You know, I have a little boot here. I have all these little things from swaps that I thought might work out. So let's, maybe decorate with some of those things. Put that to the side for now. Okay, well, let me get my machine on, bring my computer, because I didn't bring it with me for some reason, and I'll be right back. Okay, got this guy out. It's not the stickiest, but since this is a really big piece of cardstock, it should be okay. I would say you just want to be careful with this kind of thing, but I think this will be okay. If you're scared, you can also put a little bit more washi, a little washi on the edge, a little bit more. There's none on here, but you know what I mean? Just add a little something that helps you hold that on. It does look like everything in the background. If these, again, I'm making my tag, like the background piece is the same color, but you can definitely play with that, right? I was just going to keep it all easy. So, oh, I do need to put my scoring tool in, this guy. So my machine's right here in front of me, so I'm just opening A, just lift the little flap, put that guy in, clamp it back down, and I should be good to go. In between doing all this, guys, I'm like cleaning out my craft room, so I just have huge tubs of things I'm just putting in there, and now it'll sort them, you know what I'm saying? I get everything out, and then you go through it as you bring it back, is how I like to do that. But yeah, I'm like out of breath over here. Hopefully this, I was gonna say, has not connected to my Cricut yet. I'll let that do that, and I'll be back. Okay, and I must have this thing on custom. Yeah, the actual machine is set on custom little knob, because I'm choosing here 80-pound cardstock. That one's about 80 pound, I would say. And yeah, I'm just gonna go with it. It says to have your stylus and the scoring stylus and clamp A, obviously the blade and the other clamp there. Hopefully this doesn't move. Like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and load that up. So, because I've been using my Cricut more often, I have to have this whole section of my table, clear. The only other thing I put there now is my Anna Griffin, my Empress, because it needs a spot too. And so I just have it there. And when I use my Cricut, I just move the Empress. It's not the biggest thing. It has a big handle. I just move it. It's doing all the score lines right now, and then it'll start cutting, and I'll be back. Funny enough, because this is double-sided and because we're using the Cricut, it's not like when you use a die when the one side looks really nice and the other side looks rough. Both sides look rough, in my opinion, when you use a die-cutting machine. It's just really stark, right? I can definitely turn these papers around, so if you wanted one side to be like that damask side or like that floral pattern, but maybe you want to use the other side on the next tag, or, what I'm saying, just flip it as the background. So something to think about. I might do that just to have a little more contrast instead of having everything coordinate so well. That is so funny. It's hard to notice, you know how I welded these shapes and I was trying to just make sure they were the same left to right and all that. But the machine did go like it made the smallest little where it needs to. It's very hard to notice. But again, when you're designing your own, make it smoother, whatever. Let's see. Oh yeah, and it cut perfectly well. That's the other thing we're always watching out for. But okay, so we have that. Again, if I wanted to switch this, honestly, this is another one of my opinions, is that when you have it cut, if you feel this, you can feel the edge of the paper. It kind of comes up because the way it gets cut into it kind of fluffs up the paper a little bit on that very edge. But when you turn it around, this is actually smoother. So I could use this backside again, just to change it up a little bit so it's not all the same. I think I will do that, because this will be the very background. Then this guy will be here, and then this guy will be here. And hopefully we can imagine this is going to work. Let's see. Does it work already? That's all I needed. See, I needed more here to keep it up, right? So hopefully it'll work. But this is basically what we're going for. Very cool. Okay, so that's good. We have our brace pieces, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut the other layers with whatever it is that I want. Gold paper, maybe some of this paper, and we'll put it together because that's literally all we're going to do. Okay, so I'll be right back. Okay, I'm just checking in with you guys. I was debating if I was going to make the little lattice in the background gold. I'm going to use a cream color, which honestly might not be that great. Hold on, I didn't actually say go yet. It's, this is like an off-white, but it's not really cream. Okay, whatever. I'm just going to let it do it. Let's see how long that one takes. And I'm just getting it, it's going right along. Again, these are the matte layers that would go in here. I can use the opposite side. Obviously, it doesn't contrast enough, but on this side, we can do that. It's a little different. Or just leave it the way it is, right? So we have this, and then this guy. I was going to initially do this with a plain color and then run it through an embossing folder. So like this guy, I haven't done the matte layer for this one yet. But you know what? Let's go ahead and do that. While that's cutting, hopefully there won't be any hiccups. This one I wanted to cut really roughly. You see that? So I was trying to clean it up, but I didn't clean it up enough. I'm not sure why. I think this paper is a little bit heavier. It's the Park Lane paper that they used to have at Joann. And I say used to because, Joann's bye-bye. But there we go. See how it destroyed it in the back? I'm going to run this through an embossing folder just to get some texture on it, and I'll be back. Okay, I just used one of my butterfly cut and emboss folders. I just popped it in there. I will say, sometimes when I use the universal plates with the Spellbinders machine, I have to really figure out how to get this done. With this one, it was just this with the old school plate, the old platform. Just, it doesn't say A, but it's basically the A plate, the platform, and then just a cutting plate. That's it. If you're using the old set. The universal one, you kind of have to shim a little bit from their basic cutting folder sandwich. So you guys have probably seen videos I've done that. Okay, because I'm impatient, maybe I should start layering things. This is a different kind of pink than that one, than this one, even though it's the same paper pack, not Park Lane paper. But you can imagine if this has, I'm going to use gold on here, a gold overlay. I think that goes well. Instead of having the flowers, that kind of, and then it's bringing that blue in. I don't know. So I'm going to do this. And I probably just should wait at the end, but I'm not. So, and you know me, I love my little flowers. Actually, I should look at the other ones. They're very similar, so there we go. Put this here. Oh, see what I did? Ladies and gentlemen, my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna put this one over here since I put less glue on that one. Oh my gosh. And then I'll wipe this away. I'm gonna decorate that too, so it's not the biggest deal, but okay, so this side should have the glue. My gosh, you know what it is? It's just, I love my foil, and there's no way I was going to put the foil down, so there we go. Okay. And you see how big the matte layer is? If you don't like that, again, make yours tighter, right? You can do whatever you like. It's your design. You can even manipulate the one I did. Well, it'd be a little bit hard to do because you don't have this original one. You have the piece that's already been matte layered, attached to this top piece. But maybe you can make this piece a little bit bigger. Or design your own, like I had said. Okay. All right, we're going to have that there. We're going to have this back here. These guys, again, are they going to be just glued one right on top of the other? Or put some space in between them, make it a little thicker. I'm going to go ahead and glue these together. This is the only part that takes a while because of, look at that hole. Obviously, how we designed it, so it works out. But that just worked out really, really, really well. Okay, I'm waiting for that background piece. We need the matte layer for this guy. And then we can start putting things together even more. Okay, and then just one more matte layer. The last layer is the layer that goes on this, and I'm just going to cut it out of this gold paper. I will say this is the extra heavyweight cardstock from Hobby Lobby, and I ran it on foil acetate because it cuts it twice. You know what I'm saying? It passes through twice. If you do 110 cardstock, I think it does it 3 times, which is overkill. So, all right. Okay, last cut, and let's see how we did. I think that's it. Yeah, okay, because it offered me another thing. I was like, okay, does that mean I need to do more? I did send this through also with foil acetate setting, and look how perfect that is. Very cool. Okay, and this is cute. I mean, you can use this little offcut. Oh, it's very precious. But there it is. All right, let me clean up and we'll get this pulley card put together. Okay, guys, well, we already put this tag together. We already put these pieces down, but of course, you know, I could have waited till the end so you can see all the pieces. I'm going to go ahead and glue that. Just something, you know, I just wanted to add something to it just to show you that you can play around with those things. Of course, you can just, you know, run it through an embossing folder, just have a simple matte layer. Whatever it is that you want to do to manipulate, you know, your project will be great. Let me just get a little glue in here because it is a little more fragile in there. And I'll pop this down. And I will show you, you know, this is 0.125 matte layer, which means it's an eighth of an inch on either side, a 1/4 inch all around, right? Larger. This matte layer was a 1/4 inch. So that means it's a 1/4 inch on the sides. So hopefully you can kind of see the difference with those matte layers, which one you prefer. Of course, I like a tighter one, but you know, I just left it the way it was. So this guy, ooh, okay, let's go. I'm going to go ahead and put glue all over this and I'll be right back. But see, you can use a shape. It didn't have to be flat, but I showed you how to make it flat. I just didn't want the other ones to have to be manipulated that way for it to work. But on this background one, I don't mind because it's going to be covered up anyway at the base. So anyway, okay, I'll be back. All right, guys. Looks really pretty. Again, I'm just going to pop that in place, just kind of eyeballing where that should be. And let that set up before we move on a little more. All right, so that will be there. This will be here, right? And then when you close it, it should close up kind of a little bit higher. Perfect. Okay, these are our two pieces that we have. And again, we have score lines at 1/2 inch down, 2 inches from there, 1/2 inch from there, and then this guy. Actually, I'm so silly. Well, yeah, no, you do need that. You know, I'm used to making boxes, so I'm like, oh, I don't need this extra tab because I think I was going to glue like this. But no, we need the space of that. So we need that 1/2 inch to overlap the other 1/2 inch. To make a little tube. Oh my goodness. Left this uncovered for like, I don't know. I guess it was like a good minute. All right. See if that worked. Okay, that did. Perfect. So we're just going to overlap those guys. Okay. And same thing with this guy. At the 1/2 inch. We had the 4 1/4, whatever it was that we decided, and then there. And you can decorate these pieces before you pop them in, which is probably what you want to do. So I'm going to grab a little something for this. Again, I have all those pretty things. I did want to use maybe some of this... ooh, this beautiful seam binding. Oh, that's so lovely. Honestly, I think this one would be really great. It looks like it's just fabric that was cut, but I think I'll pop this in here. Oh my gosh, the whole thing? Let's see. Should make a bow. I might as well use the whole thing because I won't have enough left to do anything else with. So we're going to tie it and then make a bow. We can do that. So let's tie that. And oh yes, yes, you can iron it. Do you think I ever do things like that, guys? Have I been given comments before calling me lazy because I didn't iron my ribbon? Yes, I have. Somebody even left a comment with, well, I won't even say it. But yeah, I was like, really? It's that enraging? Okay. I didn't know. Okay, I'm gonna fuss with this a little bit to make it a little bit smaller, but I still want it kind of loopy and floofy, you know? So a little bit tighter, just a little bit tighter. Let's see. This is thicker seam binding. It's wider, you know, than some of the a little bit smaller. I'm not going to seal the edges, although I probably could, but I'm just going to cut this at a little angle. It seems like this is polyester-ish, so I probably can, you know, singe the ends, but I'm just going to leave it. Okay, that's cute. And, oh my goodness. You know, I live real close to the freeway, to hospitals, to a, look at this. Oh my gosh, it's like perfect. To all kinds of things. Maybe, I mean, I wasn't planning on putting this here, but let's go with it. I'm going to put some dimensionals on that. Oh, a firehouse. So there's always sound. It's not because there's always just something going wrong out here. You know, it's just you have cities of millions of people, and I live so close to all those kind of services. You're gonna hear them pretty often. Okay. Let's see. Actually, did I tell you guys the other day when I was doing my live for the HSN Craft Day? The house across the street was burning down. I had no idea. And it's funny because, well, it's not funny, but when I was doing the live, right at the end, I was talking with you guys. I'm like, oh, of course, an emergency vehicle. Never, you know, it always happens. And I didn't realize that house was on fire. And it's the house that's the same model as mine. And so that's a little scary. And I'm like, it looks like maybe it started in the kitchen. I don't know, because the room upstairs, you know, above that would be like my son's room, my older son's room. So I'm like, where? I need more information about this. So I had said I had this. It's pretty. I don't really know what I would do with it, but I mean, it looks cute there, right? Something different. Okay. Should we put that up too? So now we're just decorating, just having some fun. I'm going to grab some kind of sentiment because this doesn't have one right now, and I don't really know what I'm going to put on it, but we will do that. Again, you know, you're going to see things peeking out from the back by the time we put this pop-up together. So you're not going to see the whole background. You're going to see like some portions of it. That's really cute. I mean, that's also really cute, but I feel like I like it with these three on top. And like that. It's a little bit crooked. Something like that. Cute. Okay, so you can imagine this guy will be here, see? So you see a little bit of those things. Maybe the sentiment goes here, but this guy's kind of here. Yeah, so the sentiment's gonna have to be up here somewhere. Okay, let me grab something that will go good with this. I'll be right back. Okay, I have these old school pieces in here that's wreaths and sentiments, and it's a circle, which I didn't really use, but you know, it's your birthday, make a wish, enjoy your birthday. These are all very cute. See, this makes this look like almost purple pink, isn't it? There's a little tiniest amount of blue. I don't know if I need to bring blue in. You know what I'm saying? It's like just here. You don't really see much of it. I mean, it's not killing it. I don't know. Green, some greenery. No, I kind of like the way the blue looked even better. Okay, let's go with the blue. And let me see if I have anything else. In the Virginia paper pack, you know, we have flourishes and flowers, which I didn't even bring out. There's all these guys, and they're really big. So for this project, maybe not. I mean, there are some small ones in the back, I suppose. You know, how much do we want to put? I do have flourishes. Like I said, there's like hummingbird flourishes in there. There's ones that specifically go in corners. That's kind of fun. I did bring this out because I thought, oh, this green, but it's a lot green. And now you can ink things up like that and like soften it. I have some little frames. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I'm just going to stick this down. Again, if you're doing Anna, you know, you can get your flourishes going and all that cute stuff. But I feel like this is maybe enough the way I do things. What did she say the other day? I was watching a demo. I think she said more and more and less is a bore or something like that. Or more is more, you know, kind of thing. And I don't know. I just usually go with a little bit less. Now, we do have this cut out. Now, is it too repetitive to put it here? I mean, I could have put it underneath there. Or maybe on this side. Oh, maybe on this side. It'll make it look less like it came from there, right? Okay. I didn't even put glue. I'm just sticking it down with that. Okay. All right. I feel like maybe there should be something here. Because, like, what's this shoe doing, you know? Just, like, a little something in there. If I do that, I'm going to have to pick the shoe up, which is fine. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it's just cute because it's an old school shoe. I'm sorry. I'm trying to move it over just a little bit. Okay. All right. So these guys, we're going to glue them down so that it's touching the back and also touching the very base, because that's how you're going to glue it to here and then do it to the next one. So you basically need glue all over. And look at this. I didn't even think about this little hole, and we did that perfectly. So thank goodness. All right. This is crazy. We're going to put glue all on here, down at the base, and all here. Okay. So let me turn that over so you can see. Just the very top doesn't have glue, basically, right? So we'll get this in the center as well as you can in the center. And flush at the bottom. You guys, I'm just making this up from like whenever die press, you know, we'd have pop-ups with them, and the pop-up would occur with a little box, and I just made the box way bigger. So that's kind of where I'm coming from with that expertise. Now, if this thing was closed up, you can imagine we'd have this down here, you know, center it as well as you can. And so the very base is touching flush, and the back of this thing is also touching, right? Now, if you're happy with that, what I would do is right now, go ahead and close it, because it's going to shift. It's going to shift. It's going to shift. Ooh, yeah, I'm just missing that little basket. Ooh, at the bottom. That's interesting. That is interesting. Okay. That is so funny, because you know how the top doesn't have glue, this very top little piece? So it's just clearing these flowers, but everything else is stuck down. So yeah, we're gonna have to wait for that to hold, unfortunately. So I'll be back. I'm telling you guys, my husband's always like, how do you know that's gonna fit if we go shopping for like a piece of furniture or something else? I'm like, I just have like good, I don't know. When I see something, you know, I have a good idea of the space, because he's always like, it's not gonna fit. It's never gonna fit. That's too big or whatever. But check this out. So at the very base, it's holding on. And this very top part just cleared those flowers, so it's sticking where it needs to stick, and then not at that piece that's touching the flowers. Isn't that funny? It's just worked out that way, but if you're doing yours, obviously you want to pay attention. Okay, so we have this piece essentially ready to go. Okay, we'll see if it stands up. That's the, you know, the next thing. Okay, and now we need this piece stuck down. So I'm going to put where it overlaps towards the bottom, because that way it doesn't, it's not super noticeable. So glue all on this side, a good amount, guys. And again, I use a wet glue because unless you rip it, it's not going to come apart. Double-sided tape, I still have my doubts. Even red liner tape, guys. Okay, so this piece, I'll put that right down in the middle here. And I'm just holding it here just so I know that that piece is pretty good before I move on to this next portion. And I mean, who knows if because I forgot that they're sticking one to the other. In my mind, they were just separate, but no, one sticks to the next one. Oh my gosh, look at that. Look at that. I just cleared it. Okay, so flush at the bottom and just clearing that sticker, which is so funny to me. Okay. And just gonna hold it for a second because we're gonna go ahead and close it again. You're just basically testing it out. So I do want that centered. It's not quite centered. Okay, there we go. And if that's there, just clearing that sticker. And we want to close it, guys. And again, it might be touching the sticker a little too much. Okay, see, tooting my own horn, and then it's a little bit too much on this sticker. So let's pick this guy up. And thank goodness, because we didn't, you know, we're doing this fresh. You do have a moment to move that. Okay. That looks good. Okay, let's get this back on here. Just making sure everything's good. Again, touching the very base. Centered. Looks good. And then we need to close it, which is scary, but that's what you gotta do. Okay, I'm gonna hold that down and I'll be back. Okay, guys, I'm just walking around the house looking at this mess I've created for myself, you know, getting things out of here. Gotta do a destash. But anyhow, just walking around holding this down. So I think we should be able to play with it now. So as you see, you know, when you first look at it, obviously I can, maybe I'll hit that with a little bit of a heat tool to relax that. But it looks like this. I will say the sizing on this guy is, it should be just over 6 inches tall. Yeah, 6 1/4, which is basically where we put the score line, by 5, right? That just over 5. And basically when you open it up, all these things reveal. You see your birthday wishes, little flourish, that cute background, of course, whatever it is you want to do. The other thing is we want to make sure it stands up. So I'm assuming we're gonna have to flex. Oh, I will show you from the side. Again, it's just a double pop-up. We've done something like this with Diamond Press with the nativity scene. Do you guys remember that? Some other items that are like this where you kind of stagger things. And like I said, this is just a pop-up without a card base, basically. And so we want to see if it stands up, and it stands up. Yay! Okay, this is what we were wanting. Again, you can put more weight in here, you know, to hold it down more, but that's basically it, guys. So what do you think? I think you're ready to design your own, honestly. Like, it's easy. And once you have the other pieces done, and you can kind of, I don't know if you can copy and paste between things, but you can start with, the, you know, the file you have, and then just start remaking some of this stuff and leave, you know, your little these background pieces the same, or, you know, make them less thick, whatever it is you want, right? So this is what I came up with, but I'm sure you'll have lots of fun with it, you know, deck it out, all that kind of stuff. So thanks for watching, guys. I'm so glad that worked out. And I will give you both cut files. The other one is a little smaller here. I just had a feeling like the foot needed to be bigger. It's a little bit shorter, and so it might fall over, right? But if you like the look of the other one, I'll give you both, okay? So I'll say this is the cut file from the tutorial, and then that second one. All right, guys, well, thanks for watching. I'll have images coming up, links as appropriate, you know, in the description box here, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye now.